ರೇ
ನೀ ಮಾತಾಡು.
ಹಿಂಗ ಹೇಳಾಕತ್ರಿ ಪೂಜಾ.
ನೀ ಯಾಕೆ ಸಾಕ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿ? ನೀನ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡೆ ಫಿರ್ಯಾ ಕಡೆ ಹಾಕ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡೆ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ ಒಕ್ಕೋತಿ 2 ತಾಸಿಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿ?
ಯಾರು ಬರ್ಬೇಕ ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗದಿಂದ ಅದೇ ಯಾವ ಊರಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋದು
Recording in progress.
Hello.
Hello, am I audible? Amdi sir, tell me.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your phone.
ಮಾಡ್ಕ
पुराने केस के बारे में बता रहा उस केस को दोबारा से
ಕಿತ್ತಿರ್ಲಿ ತೆಗಿಯ ಬ್ಯಾಡ ಚಂದಾಗಲ್ಲ ಇದೇನು ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಇರ್ತದ
ಏನು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಲ್ರಲ್ಲ ಹಲೋ
ಹಲೋ ಅಂಗಡಿ ಸರ್
ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ
ಹಲೋ ಅಂಗಡಿ ಸರ್
ಹಾ ಮೇಡಮ್
ಯು ಆರ್ ಆಡಿಬಲ್ ಸರ್ ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್
ಓಕೆ ಮೇಡಮ್
A very good afternoon to one and all. Exactly, it is 4 p.m. Already we have 87 participants who have joined the webinar. We will just wait for another 2 minutes and we will start with the session.
Yes.
I request all of you to please mute your audios and videos. Let us not disturb, and when you are speaking, you can just unmute your mic.
Yes.
Can we start now?
Yes, madam.
Yeah, Naina
Yes, ma'am.
madam. Yeah, we'll start.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. A pleasant morning to one and all present who are here. Myself, Naina, Assistant Professor, Department of English, KLS Society, GH College, Haveri, and I shall be convener of this webinar. So we are gathered here for the national level webinar on the science in the art of presentation, organized by the Department of English, GH College, Haveri. We shall start this program with shloka. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Khama Rupini Vidyarambam Karishyami Siddhir Bhavato Me Sada. The program will begin with welcome the gathering. First and foremost, I would like to welcome today's special resource person, H.V. Vishweshwar Sir, Director and Facilitator, Harivu Skill Development Academy, Hubballi, Mysore. On behalf of our college and our department, heartily welcome you, sir, for this webinar. Now, I would like to welcome our beloved Honorable Principal, Dr. Sandhya R. Kulkarni. Hearty welcome you, ma'am. Next, I would like to welcome IQC Coordinator and NAC Coordinator for this webinar. I cordially welcome you, sir. I would like to welcome all my senior faculty members, our departmental staff members, college staff members, welcome you all. And I also welcome to my dear students and other college faculty members, participants who are joined here. I wholeheartedly welcome you all. Thank you, one and all. Now, I would like to request to our Honorable Principal, Dr. Sandhya R. Kulkarni, to give some brief information about this webinar. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Naina. The IQAC of the KLE Society's Gudleppa Hallikeri College always strives hard to organize the quality programs for the benefit of the stakeholders. In this eve, the IQAC took the initiative of organizing the very effective and the valuable webinar, that is the science of the art of presentation. Delivering an effective presentation can be the differentiator that provides the competitive edge for you. High impact presentations are well remembered. This webinar, which has been hosted from the Department of English, GH College, Haveri, attempts to explain the stress and nerves surrounding a presentation. The intent is to provide a structured methodology for participants to prepare and deliver an effective, high-impact presentation that meets the objectives and brings result. At the end of the webinar, I am sure the participants will be able to use a structured presentation methodology to prepare presentation material and effective visual aids. They will be able to determine and develop personal presentation style, find ways to overcome nervousness for presentation, recognize presentation weak spots and areas for improvement, learn, practice, and acquire the skills necessary to deliver effective presentation with clarity and impact. I am sure all the participants who have joined this webinar will be benefited after the session. I hope you will be enjoying the session, and over to you, Naina madam. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now it's time to know about today's special resource person. So I would like to call Professor Nagratna M to introduce Shri H.V. Vishwesh. Over to you, Nagratna ma'am.
Thank you, Naina ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my golden opportunity to introduce the resource person of today's webinar, Shri H.V. Vishwesh sir. Sir completed B.Pharm in 1992 from Mysore University, also alumni of JSS College of Pharmacy, Ahmedabad. Sir completed MBA in HR and Marketing from Indian Gandhi National Open University. He had done executive program in a leadership from IIM Ahmedabad. When we look into his work experience, he worked in a pharmaceutical industry for 22 years. He held the positions of Senior Product Manager, Group Manager, Deputy General Manager in a Zydus Cadila at Ahmedabad. He worked as a head of the department in a HR, Training and Brand Management in Ranbaxy based at Mumbai. He presently working as a founder director of Arivu Skill Development Academy, Hubli, Mysore and Bangalore. He interacted with the around 25,000 students, 100 universities, 250 faculty members to design the need-based life skills learning models. Arivu has trained 15,000 students of BE, MBA, and BA, BSc, BCom to help them to get their desired jobs. Sir presently providing training for 800 students in a campus to corporate the program. So now Arivu is involved in a faculty development program. Sir is a director of Excel Incorporation, which is involved in import and promotions of medical devices from France, Germany, and United States. So also, sir serving as a visiting faculty at the Institute of Chartered Accounts, India. So with this brief introduction, I would like to conclude this. Thank you, everyone. Naina ma'am, over to you.
I think there is some technical issue. Now over to the resource person. Now over to the resource person, Sri H.V. Vishwesh. I request all the participants to kindly mute your audios and videos.
Good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, I would like to thank KLE Society's JH College, Haveri for having arranged this webinar. And thank you for inviting me as a speaker. I'm really overwhelmed. It's a very privileged moment for me because I'm addressing 100 participants here and few more in the YouTube. And the audience section involves a different kind of a spectrum of people who are there. We have the faculty members, right from the young faculty to the most experienced and old faculty. We have students. So, I mean, it's really a pleasure to talking to you. So thank you very much, Principal Madam and the staff for arranging this webinar and giving me an opportunity to be a part of this as a speaker. Now, today I'm going to speak on a topic which is very, very near and dear to most of the faculty here because they do it on a daily basis, and very, very important for the students who are attending because they are looking forward for their professional career ahead. Why we chose this, of course, I'm going to tell you why we have chosen this. Now, before that, Madam has already told you about the importance of this particular skill. Now, to tell you very frankly, 25 years of my life in the corporate world, especially in the industry, pharmaceutical areas, I understood the importance of presentation because every day you need to present either to your people up the line, up the hierarchy, or down the line, or your peer or the contemporaries. To get the things done, it's very, very important. So that is the reason why I thought that if somebody wants to be a professional in his or her life, presentation becomes a very, very important part of their life. So that is the reason why I think, it's very apt that I would be talking about it. Now, before I move into my presentation, which is, of course, I would be sharing my presentation, I would like to tell you and make it very clear. I'm not here to teach you anything. I'm not here to train on anything. I'm here to tell you the realistic approach of presentation, of course, which involves theory. Now, if the theory is properly put into practice, how we can really enjoy our presentation and make it successful. So that is the reason why, I'm making it very clear to all of you here. I'm not here to teach you, and because there are a lot of senior teachers here, but at the same time, we cannot sit back that, I have an experience of more than 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years. So why should I need it? No, for your kind information, that's what, during the introduction, they told that we have interacted with not less than 10 universities and 250 faculty members. When we interacted with them, we found that many a times the faculty really faces a challenge in reaching a student. The biggest challenge is, of course, making students understand what they need to understand as part of their subject. So what was the problem is, there was no problem as far as knowledge of our faculty is concerned because they're masters and they are, PhD holders. They know the subject very well, but merely knowing a subject is not important to become a teacher or a professor or a lecturer or making a presentation. So what we need is, I know this knowledge and how do I really tell this knowledge so that my audience understands it the way in which it should be. So that is the reason why, I thought that everyone sitting here at the end of my session today, you will take at least a couple of new things from me. No doubt, I will certainly assure you that. Now, let me get into my presentation. Okay, since of course we do this presentation skills, the art of presentation skills usually offline when we go to the colleges, but we are handicapped, but not. Doesn't matter. In the next 55 minutes to 1 hour, certainly I will see to it that you would learn something from this session. So let me share my screen now. And before that, I would like to request, there are some ground rules that I will be following. Okay, please make a note of it somewhere, or please keep in mind, whenever there is a session going on, this is a basic etiquette, please mute your audio. Otherwise, it disturbs the speaker, number one. Number two, if possible, mute your video as well, because if you have a very low bandwidth, certainly you will not hear it properly. So please mute your video as well. Number three, during my course of discussion, I will term it as discussion, not one-way traffic. I may ask you a couple of questions, few questions. So if you really want to answer the question, there is a chat box. Okay, please, it's not an essay type answer. I want 1 or 2 words answer that you can give so that I will understand what exactly you mean by that. And if you differ, in case I tell something which you differ, absolutely you are free enough to differ. Because whatever I tell is not sacrosanct. What ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅದೇ sacrosanct ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. If you have a difference of opinion, please put it in the chat box so that we can. And the fourth thing is, if you have any questions regarding this session, whatever I discuss, please put it in the chat box, and at the end we will take few questions. So these are the few ground rules. My humble request is, please do follow these ground rules. So let me get into my presentation. Let me share the presentation here. Okay. Now I'm sharing the presentation. Okay. can somebody from the organizers unmute and tell me whether the presentation is visible?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, I think, all of you must be seeing a couple of pictures here. This is my first picture. Now, I will ask you a question and I will wait for 10 seconds or sorry, 20 seconds or 30 seconds. I want you to tell me why these two pictures on this slide and what is the significance before I start my presentation. What do you feel about this? This is what I want. I want you to tell me what is that. I'll wait for 30 seconds.
Sir, maybe it is knowing the depth of the subject before we get into it.
Okay, one is depth of the subject, and I think somebody's putting in the chat box. Go to swimming. Very good. Yes, visible. One is a raw swimmer, another is a professional. Amazing, lovely answers. Professional training and country style, all about perfection and presentation. Amazing, sir. Prashant Rao sir has already put it. Raj Nayak has already put it. One is a raw swimming, another is a professional. Amazing. You are going to dive us through something new. Thank you very much. Yes, Suraj, you can expect something new. Falling down, flying high. Amazing. No, both are both are falling down into the water, but one will fall down and fly high with the gold medal or whatever medal he or she gets. Good. I'm happy that most of you are. Country and modern style of swimming. Amazing. That's great. Different swimming. Okay. We are all talking about the swimming. Now, am I having a session on swimming? How to swim? No, I'm not at all having a session on swimming. And by the way, don't attend any sessions online on how to learn swimming and get into water because you will get drowned. If you want to learn skill of swimming, you need to jump into the water, literally. Great. Somebody has it. Ganesh has it. Skill, presentable, amazing, great. It's professional. Somebody has written, and differences. And Afia Banu has written, amazing, wonderful. Last 10 seconds, matter of interest, skill and what they choose. Great. Lakshmi has written. Now, I think, matter of interest, yes. Now, let's stop here. Sir, it says practical learning. Somebody has written systematic and non-systematic. Great. Thank you very much, friends. Absolutely, I'm overwhelmed because, you are with me. You are chatting with me and you are into this presentation. And that's what I wanted. And I want this interaction till end. Great. Now I'll come to my explanation of this slide with these, the pictures. Now, somebody has told one is a raw swimmer and another is a professional swimmer. Now, the same thing happens in your life. Now, if you want to be a raw professional, you may not get so much of success since you are raw because you do not know the methodology, the structure of doing things. So you remain raw. You may do the same thing again and again for 20 years, but you remain raw if you do not know the methodology. Now, if you really want to be a successful professional, you need to learn the art. Art means the methodology, the science of it. So what we call about the science and the techniques or the technology of the profession that I am going to choose. So that's the reason why why I put this is for the next 45-50 minutes that I'll be talking about, I'll be going through the science and method, the science which is involved in the art of presentation, so that you don't become a raw presenter. I want you to become a perfect professional presenter, and that applies to everyone in our lives. So that's the reason why. So let's talk about the science or the methodology that is involved in the presentation. Before that, a few more questions that I'm going to ask. Of course, I'm going to give you the answer here. I hope you will agree with me. Many of us do not enjoy speaking in public. Yes or no? Yes. If somebody asks me or asks us immediately, will you please present on this? We get jitters. No, I will not. I can't. Yes or no, isn't it? So now nobody willingly comes forward to present himself or herself whenever it is in public domain or when we need to speak. Now, what is the reason? We need to find the reasons and then we can address it. Now, do you think that public speaking is very difficult? Yes, it's difficult, but at the same time, if you really master it, it's not. Now, fear of speaking is called as a phobia. Okay, fear of speaking is called as, any fear that comes in your life is there, it is called as phobia in science, and the people from science would know. Phobia means fear. Now, let us see different phobias that we human beings have. Different phobias. Now, I'll go to the next one. The first phobia I'm talking about is acrophobia, fear of heights. I think many of us, we experience this. You go to a high building or a high rise, mountains, and sit down, you really feel jitters and you feel fear factor. So that is phobia. It's called as acrophobia. So it is 32%. It's a survey that people have done. So 32% of the people have acrophobia. And next we have nacrophobia. Nacrophobia is fear of death. People fear of dying. So that is 19%. Okay. The next phobia is spiders. It's called as arachnophobia. 24% of the people in the world have this arachnophobia, fear for these spiders. And the fourth one is acrophobia, that is darkness, fear for dark. 23% of the people fear for darkness. So whenever they go into the darkness, they fear. Now, the last one, and you'll be surprised. You thought that all these are most fearful. I'm giving the next one, which is the most fearful, and most of the people have given. It's a survey, not I have done. Many world-class people, world survey, researchers have done it. Now, this is called as glossophobia. That is public speaking. 41% of the people really feared speaking. That is presenting to someone. So this being the case, now I think we need to understand how important is public speaking. And if we fear, certainly I cannot become professional. I just wanted to give you this, and that's the reason why we have chosen this topic to be discussed today. So why do we fear? Why do we fear speaking or presenting? There are a lot of reasons. One is fear of rejection. If I speak, people may reject me. So fear of rejection. Criticism. If I speak something, people criticize me, whatever I speak. So that's the reason why I fear of speaking. Grammatical errors. Yes, very much. Many people say, no, I'm not good in my grammar, or I'm not able to construct the sentences properly. So I fear because of grammatical errors. Now, the fourth one, past failures. Last couple of times I had presented, I was a failure. So this time also I may fail. That's another reason why people fear presenting. And fifth one is poor self-image. Self-image, I'm not good. I'm not good. I'm not confident. I'm not good is what? Poor self-image. So that also pushes me back for presentation. And last but not the least, and I have made it very bold, is lack of preparation certainly fears us. Now today, I'm going to dwell upon this particular fear. If this fear is taken care of, I'm really rounding it. If this is done and taken care of, I think all others will take a backseat. So that's the reason why I tell you today, we're going to talk about how do we prepare ourselves to give a presentation. Okay, so how do we prepare ourselves so that there is no lack of presentation, so preparation, so that I have the confidence. So that's where I come to my point of discussion today is the science in the art of presentation. Why I have put the science means whenever we talk about science, in science, we have the methods, the methodology, the structure, the structural viewpoint, all these, the data, everything. So that's the reason why take this as a science, learn it like a science, methodically and structurally, so that, you become a successful presenter. So now, you can also see the other thing that is written, present to impact. Now, once you learn the art of presentation through the methodical way, I'm very sure that whenever you present to anyone, you will be presenting to impact. Why I put this present to impact, this is very important from the viewpoint of, many of us, you have seen many seminars where some of the speakers go there, use a language which is not known by the audience. They want to showcase their vocabulary. They want to showcase that I know so much. They talk so big things. Many of the audience, they don't understand what they are speaking. But at the end of the seminar or end of the session, if you ask someone in the audience, they say, how was the session? Session was wonderful. You are a good speaker. Then if you ask them, what did you learn from it? No, I don't know what he said, but it was good. Now, that we call it as present to impress. So whenever we are in our professional presentations, please do not present to impress the audience. Now, somebody says that, no, sir, we will not present to impress, but we will present to express. No, if you limit only to express, you do not know what is the impact on the audience. So now today's buzzword, the buzzword in the art of presentation is present to impact. Just imagine, attach this to your day-to-day work. And especially I'm talking to the lecturers and professors here. Now, every day you take classes. Sirs and madams, if you really go with this in your mind, today I'm going to present to make an impact on the students, then your presentation becomes that much more different than what you had done last time. So that's the reason why whenever you go for any presentation, go with the intention of today I'm going to make an impact. So how do I make an impact? That is through a methodical way of preparation for the presentation. So let me get into the next slide. I think I'm getting into the most important. So why we are here today? Of course, not to understand just what is a good presentation, but in today's world, everyone expects an excellent presentation. That's very, very important. And to my young audience sitting there, especially the students who are getting into their professional world, take it from me, friends. Learn today, because you will not get an opportunity to learn in the industry or wherever you go. This is the best opportunity for you to learn, practice and commit mistakes, practice, commit mistakes, correct those mistakes and become a thorough professional before you go out of the campus, because you need to be an excellent presenter the moment you go out into the professional world. So that's the reason why, we are having this, how to really become an excellent presenter we can talk about. So my talk usually surrounds with these topics that I'm going to talk about. Now, these two sections that I will be talking, they're mainly not during the presentation. In fact, the preparation should start before we start presentation. So this is a preparation that we need to make for any presentation, whether it is a 10-minute, half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, there is something called as a preparation for our presentation. So the first two talk about the preparation before we present, and the next two talk about actually when I am presenting, how should I really conduct myself? So in this before and during, that's what I have divided my section today. Now let's understand. Let me go to the first one. Anyway, before that, I would certainly tell you before you attend any seminars or webinars. Okay, my request to you is go with this question. What is in it for me? For example, you are attending a lot of webinars nowadays. Now, you're also attending this webinar today. Now, if you have not come out with answering, what is in it for me? If you don't have, after attending Mr. Vishwesh's session for 45-50 minutes, what I gained, if you don't have in your mind, then there is no point in certainly going there. If you don't get it, make it very clear to this speaker as well in your feedback that, yes, I came with this thing in my mind, this is what to gain, but I couldn't get it. Next time it becomes easy for us to reach you. So that's the reason why I'm telling you, you answer this question, what is in it for me? So you have come here. What is in it for you today? Of course, you will certainly gain some confidence through our discussion today. And of course, after that, you will be successful and you can share effectively and discuss and promote your ideas properly next time when you present something. So this is what I think, can be got from this session. What is in it for you? That's what I'm talking about. So Peter Drucker, I'm just coming to a quote from Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker is a management guru, an author, and a world-known author. The ability to express oneself is the most important of the skills. Express is important. Now, the effectiveness of your ability to reach others depends on your spoken and written words. The ability to express is an important skill, but the effectiveness depends on your ability to reach through the words, spoken and written words. And this is what my request, mute the audio, please. A request, mute the audio. Can somebody mute this audio? Madam Shashikala, madam, I think your audio is on. Please mute it. Thank you. Yeah. Now, a good presentation is like an onion. A good presentation is like an onion. Keep peeling at each layer till you reach the core, and you really get that happiness once you start peeling one layer after the other, and that is what is called as a good presentation is like an onion. You peel one after the other so that you reach the core, and people will certainly understand your message when you really give the core message. And this is exactly what I wanted to talk about. And now there are two kinds of presenters in this world. Either there is an established presenter or a novice presenter. Established novice andre the person who is not trained, or the person who is not perfect. That's what I told you, the first two. Established and novice. Now, again, with the due respect to all the audience here, by just merely by having experience of 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, you cannot qualify yourself as an established presenter. Now I have seen a lot of, because I have seen myself during my college days, and I have seen myself now during the interaction of with the faculty in many colleges and universities. Still, there are a lot of professors or the lecturers who really are not established presenters. Now, I think, you must have experienced yourself. There are few new people who really express so very well, so that many of the people want to hear them or sit through their presentations. And there is an experienced person who also explains the same thing, but nobody, of course, not many people would like to be a part of that listening. Or this is exactly what is the difference between established and novice. So don't attach experience to this or age to this. I am already aged 40, 45, 50. Now I am established. No, only that what matters is how confident and articulate you are, whether you are whether you are experienced or not experienced. If you are articulate, if you are confident, then you are an established. Most of these established presenters, they use script to refer, not to read. Have you seen some people? They just go on reading from the script, and that's what they call it as a presentation. And I have heard many students also telling that I'm not able to understand many people, sir, because they just read from whatever is there on the page or paper or the script. No, that's not. So the person who just sees that, refers, and then explains that. That is what is called as an established speaker or a presenter. Does not read from the script. And most importantly, nowadays, what is happening is the biggest problem is we have this PowerPoint. Now, if I ask someone tomorrow you need to present, immediately, okay, sir, no problem. Tomorrow he will go to Google, he will take out some information. There is Control-C, Control-V on the pad, and he simply opens the PowerPoint, new slides, go on pasting those, whatever he has copied there, and prepares around 10, 20 slides and comes and shows it on the screen, and they say, this is the presentation. No, this is absolutely not. In fact, it's the horrible thing that you will be doing. So this is not established. Does not read from the script is what established. Whereas novice is who refers and reads. So now it's up to us. Should I really, read? Or should I explain or make it really interesting for the others to understand? This is the difference. So now you can think, whatever you do accordingly, you have to label yourself, whether you are an established or a novice. Okay. Next is the anatomy of a successful presentation. Anatomy means, of course, I'm talking about the structure, the science of a successful presentation. It involves audience, know your audience, structure your content, flawless delivery, and design. I'm going to talk about these two, and then flawless delivery yourself, and then how to design a good PowerPoint for presentations. Okay, that also I will be touching upon it. So let me come to the first. The first and the foremost thing that any presenter, if at all they have a presentation, please think about the audience that you're going to address. Do not prepare one presentation for all. My humble request to every presenter, it may be the same subject, but the content differs. Content means how to deliver differs. So you need to know your audience before you present. So how do I know the audience? That's very important. In fact, for today's presentation, I had to know the audience, who were the audience. So that's the reason why I had asked for a data. How many have registered? Out of that, I took a data. How many are professors, associate professors? How many are some principals are also there? And how many are students? So that it becomes easy for me to address whenever I'm putting a point. So this is how knowing your audience. Let's talk something about knowing the audience. How do I know the audience before I prepare a presentation? Now, it's very important to know the audience because you have different audience. You may say as a lecturer, sir, what is there? I have been a professor and I get the students. Now, and the same subject, the history doesn't change, the physics doesn't change, the chemistry doesn't change, the botany, zoology doesn't change, nothing changes. Commerce, the data doesn't change, nothing changes. Yes, the subject doesn't change, but the audience change, my dear friends. Audience means you have a set of students who are audience, who have a different, the understanding capacity and the wavelength to understand. So every audience is a challenge for you. When you certainly go with a new thing in your mind that today's audience are new, not like last time. Even the audience from one class to another class differs. You know that? for this class, the audience may not be interested because now you need to come to know that, the audience don't want this. Next time when you say that, I'm going to discuss this, audience certainly give that hearing to you. That's what. So know your audience is very important. Now let's get into, now when audience comes to your presentation, he comes with this question in his or her mind. What is in it for me? If I sit through this webinar or this presentation today, or this discussion presented by someone, what is that I'm going to gain? This question they will come with this question. Now you have exactly 5 minutes to impress upon or make an impact that yes, they have come here for the right reasons and their problem is going to be addressed. So they're going to sit through for the next 45-50 minutes. Otherwise, if you don't address this in the beginning, what is in it for me means what is in it for the audience, then audience will not be with you mentally. Physically, they may be there in the class, but not mentally. So that's very, very important. What is in it for the audience? I need to know what is in it for the audience. What do they want from this particular session? Now, you need to answer these questions yourself before you prepare your content. But the audience will ask a question to you. Why should I pay attention to you? You have to pay attention to me because this subject is very important. Important because this subject tomorrow in your professional world, you can apply this subject in your professional assignments. That's the reason why you have to pay attention to this. Why should I care about this issue? Now the audience is going to ask you, why should I care about this issue? Is because you need to learn about this issue. You need to find solutions to these issues. That's the reason why you need to be here. So answer this question from the audience viewpoint. The third question is, how are you justifying your ideas? Yes, when the audience is asking you that question, that how are you justifying whatever you're talking, justify with the facts and figures, the data, the research that is there available regarding that particular subject. So justify your idea so that the audience will take it. I think what he or she is talking is absolutely right. I need to take it. Otherwise, they will not take it. What do you want for now? You have given me all this. What do you want me to do? That's what audience is asking. Now, today, if I ask you, if you ask me the same question after, now, what do you want to do with presentations? I'll say yes. Now, if you take this information to your next presentation, you will prepare with a lot of confidence and deliver with even much more ease. So that's what is in it for you. So what do you want me to do is prepare, become a good presenter. If you are asking me today this question. So if you answer this question before you start your presentation, then your content becomes that much more easy to prepare. And now I'm going to give you one formula where you can apply this audience. AUDIENC is the spelling of audience. For each alphabet, there is something. If you can address this before you prepare your presentation, then 90% of your job is done. I'm very sure that your audience will be with you for a long, long time. So A stands for analysis. Who are the participants and how many are there? Very important. Before you go to the presentation, analyze. Who are the participants? That's what I did today. Who are the participants? How many are there? There are more than 250, 200 today. So now this is what I got the analysis, the first one. Based on that, I need to address it. Now you understand what is their knowledge of the subject. Yes. What is that knowledge? For example, if you're dealing with students of 100 or 120 in the class, you cannot segregate that, say that all are nuts. Nuts means, nobody knows anything. Or you cannot say that everybody knows everything. No. There are people who are fast learners. So you need to know that, what is the knowledge of the people so far on that subject. That's very important. That is understanding the knowledge of the audience. Demographics, what is their age, gender, of course. For you people, especially for the professors in the college, they have, here also, the first year and the final year. The first year and the PG students, their, understanding differs. So that's the reason why you need to be prepared for that as well. So that is the demographics. And if you are addressing experts in your presentations tomorrow, when you go into a national seminars and, international seminars, you cannot take the same, what you have presented for your students. There, you need to present as per their experience there. So that is what is called as demographics. D stands for demographic. I stands for interest. Why are they here? Why are they here? Their interest is, of course, to learn from you. This is what you need to address. Environment, where will I stand? Very important, friends. Now, of course, I'm not talking about in the online mode. I'm talking about in the offline mode. This refers to a presenter where he or should stand in a presentation. I have seen some people, they stand at a place where the people who are sitting at the back are not able to see you. You are making all kinds of body language, but they are not able to see you. So see to it that you stand in a position where every eyes are on you and they look at you and they are perfectly seen. That's very, very important. And many a times I've seen they block the view of something, if you're presenting on the slide or on the this one. So very, very important. Environment, where you stand, how is the hall, whatever it is, needs, what are the needs and what are your needs? That's what I have been telling you. Your need is to make them understand. Their need is to get the information. So if you understand this, then it becomes very interactive rather than one way. Customize, that's what I told you. Don't have one presentation for all. For example, some experts have come to you and asked you, what do you teach in this college? So you take that, whatever you teach as a part, then you take as a, no, you have to take, you as an expert, he wants something, what is that you teach? What are the nitty-gritties of your teaching? All these subjects, Now, when you talk to the students, you have to come down to their level and talk. So be specific and customized. No presentation, one presentation for all, and meet the expectations. They expect a lot from you. Especially from the student point of view, sirs, I'm talking to the faculty here. Every student wants to learn, provided he gets the right kind of information. So that's the reason why my humble request to all the teachers here, please deliver the presentation in such a way that they understand. You may say, sir, there are few people who do not understand. Yes, it's my responsibility to see to it that even the last person understands whatever I say. The biggest challenge here is don't blame the receiver of the message. Think about the sender of the message. If I send the message properly, the receiver is going to receive it in a way that is understandable. So that's the reason why expectations. So this is what I want you to note down about the audience. If you can prepare about this audience before your presentation, then I think your 50 to 60% of your job is done, no doubt. Next, I'm going to don't go assume things. Don't assume. My audience are like me only. My audience are like me. I know this much. They also know this much. No. They may know more, even more, or they may know even less. In fact, I have seen some students in some of the colleges, they know more than the teachers. They know more than the teachers. That's very important. So we need to understand that. Don't go with the assumption that they don't know or they know whatever I know. They know the same things that I know. No, they know many more things or they do not even know. And they care about my personal brand. Very, very important. If you are branded, oh wow, he's a good presenter. Yeah, he's a good, Now don't go with that baggage that anyway I'm a good presenter. Without even preparation, I can go because I have already been branded as no. Personal brand is brand for every presentation. So every presentation, you remove that personal brand and go inside the presentation. And last but not the least, don't go with the assumption that jargons means some of the technical things that we call it as in short forms or abbreviations. So don't go with that jargons. I know the jargons, but it doesn't mean that all the other people who are sitting there in the audience may not be knowing the jargons. So when the COVID started, okay, everyone was talking about PPE. Now everyone knows after 1.5 years that PPE. Initially, what is PPE? Nobody knew. Yes, the PPE costs so much. The PPE, plants are coming up, this, that, and everyone is like, what is this PPE? Now, PPE is a jargon. Where, of course, the full form, of course, that is, of course, personal protection equipment. So if you say that, then people will understand. And if you go on using jargons, you may impress, but not have an impact. So you have to answer these questions as well and don't assume things. This is about, knowing the audience. Now, let me come to the structure. This is where I want everyone to just look into it. Because do not prepare any structure just for the sake of preparation for that 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I've seen structure should be in such a way that it is really understandable. So let me go to the prepare structure. Of course, now, how do usually I have seen the best presentations. You go back and see many presentations where you said, wow, what a good presentation. I have understood everything. All those presentations, the structure will be, there is a context that they would set. Means before they start the presentation, there is something called as why we are having this particular session. Setting a context. Why we are having today. Why are we discussing? Somebody is really, I think, please mute. Somebody is really disturbing with their audio. Thank you. Setting a context is very important nowadays, that more so in the online mode. Setting a context means why are we here and what are we going to discuss? That's very important. Setting a context, unless and until you don't set a context, why and what we are going to discuss, nobody is going to listen to you. Number one. Logical structure, very, very important. Maintain a logical structure. I'll come to that, explanation later. Emphasis on essentials means, of course, I'll explain this. Make it ambiguity free, and also explain this and resonate with the audience. Now, I will take C from context. Okay. I'll take L from logic. I will take E from essentials, this, and I'll take A from ambiguity free, and I'll take R from resonate. So what does it become? It becomes clear. So now, if you can make your structure in this way, and do this way, your structure will be very clear. Now, let me get into these things. What is, I think I told you, setting a context. Maintain a logical structure. Logical flow makes the experience very engaging. I have seen some illogical means you are telling something, straight away jump to something else, and then come back here, and there is no logical way of explaining things. So it means in a structured manner, if you can able to deliver your presentation, people will understand one after this, after this, after this. If you see my presentation, there is a structure. One is knowing the audience. Next comes, and then comes the delivery, how to deliver, and last comes how to design. So this is the logical structure. Lay emphasis on essentials. Very, very. There are so many things to discuss. There are so many things to discuss. Now, we discuss so many things, in that the important things are lost. That is very, very important. So now, whenever you take a subject, you take out the important essential things of that subject and then try to project that only, so that people will understand the essentials rather than everything. And giving everything and not understanding, or giving something that is essential and understanding, is very important. So when you present, please lay emphasis on only essentials. If you have 10 things to do, select 1, 2 are important. That's all. I will talk about this. And that's what is laying emphasis on essentials. Now, ambiguity free. Whatever you prepare or structure, please make it confusion free. Don't confuse the people. If you confuse, they will go with so much of confusion that they don't even they brand you as a confusion presenter. So don't give any confusion. Ambiguity free. Give a direct answer, direct reply, or a direct message without any confusion. That should be your goal in structuring the presentation. Resonate with the audience. Very important. You know what? I think you must have experienced, and I also experienced a lot. You are listening to someone, and you have gone that I think he must be talking. He may be talking today in this subject. He will talk about this. Now, the moment he starts talking, means the presenter starts talking. Yes, this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted to listen. Now, you're and the presenter and you are on the same page. That is resonate. Resonate with audience. Means now audience wanted this, and I am also giving this. So now when that happens quite often, I am very sure the audience is going to listen to you completely, rather than going away from your presentation. So that is the reason why resonate with the audience. Resonate means understand what they want and give exactly the same thing that they want. And that's very, very important. So these are the few things, which I want to talk about structuring your presentation. And how to structure, of course, we all know opening, body, and ending, that is closing. The objective and general interest, tell them and answer questions. And last is summarize and answer questions. Now, my request is please follow this. Set an objective and give the complete information. Tell them what you want to tell about the subject, and last summarize. And if you don't follow this opening, body, ending for every session that you have, many people will not remember what is being taught or what is being told in that particular session. So every session, if you have the summarize and take home messages, obviously they will understand what they want to understand. So have this structure of opening, body, closing. I need not have to tell, I think many of you do it, but do it very methodically. That's important. Now, opening a presentation is very important. This is where you can hold the attention. This is what is called as grabbing the attention of the audience. Now, I think many of the speakers you have seen, good speakers, they just do not dive into their PowerPoint presentation and start talking about blah 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 about the subject. No, they open with some curiosity, so that they involve the audience, they take the attention. This is exactly what I want you to do. I think, I involved in the first slide when I showed you the pictures, and in fact, there are 25 to 30 people involved in my present. That's what, that should be opening where you create a curiosity. What is that, we are going to talk about. So get the involvement. How we can do, there are 7 to 8 methods where you can, start a presentation. Start with a quote pertaining to the subject. Start with a quote and then move forward. Or start with the question mark. Start your presentation with a question mark and ask them the question, what I started now today. Start with a question mark and ask them the answers. And who knows, of course, they would give the answers. Then you say that, yes, this is where we are driving towards. So ask a question or demonstrate something in the class when you are there, or demonstrate something so that, that attaches to whatever you are talking about, whatever you're going to talk for the next 40-45 minutes. Next, or tell a short story. I think many speakers I have seen, they tell wonderful stories, good stories pertaining to that. Don't give irrelevant stories. A story of crow and a sparrow, which is of no relevance to what you are going to talk. So tell a story which is relevant, and so that you attach that story to your explanation. Then many of the speakers I have seen start their presentation through humors. Crack a joke relevant, not Santa Banta jokes. Just some irrelevant jokes and start. No, humor means a relevant joke, and then so that they would understand why humor, because you make the atmosphere very conducive for learning. And I have seen some professors with strictness. No, listen to me only. You should not laugh. No, please. Nowadays, please don't follow that, because the students, not nowadays. I think go back to your professors who are here. Go back to your days. You still remember some of the teachers, yes or no? Why? Because they were really good presenters. So even today, if I ask you, do you have any favorite teachers? Yes, we have a lot of favorite teachers. We don't have all the teachers. We don't know all the teachers' name who taught us, but we have some. Why? Because they were the good presenters, because they did all these things perfectly. So start with some humor or a theme statement. Theme statement is whatever the theme is that you are going to speak about, details. You have that theme and then start that. Today, we are going to talk about this theme. Say that theme. So this is what we are going to talk about. So this is how it is. So these are the few ways of, these are the few ways of opening your presentation. You can adopt one. Don't adopt more than one, because that takes a lot of time. So adopt any one. Certainly, your audience certainly will be with you for quite some time. Now, your structure should be, you have to structure your presentation in such a way that start with why, which is the core. Why are we discussing today? This subject is important because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons. Why are we discussing that? How should I understand the subject? Now tell the how part. Why are we discussing and how are we going to do this, understand this? And then what you should do with this knowledge. The last one is what you should do with the knowledge. Now start with why, so that you will be establishing the reason for your presentation. Now take it. What it has, and this is the reason we need to know this. And the next, hello, am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
I'm sorry, I think there was a connection. Yeah, am I audible now? Can you see my screen? Can you see?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, this is how the structuring of the content. Start with a core why, then how and what I should do with the knowledge. And this is what your structure should have. And next, of course, one more technique that we can use is, I think I already told you this. Start with the problem. Yeah, this is the problem. Yes, problem is or a challenge. Now, this is the solution to this problem. Say the solution. And now this solution is benefited in this. So this is how, if you can structure your content. Well, this is the problem, this is the solution, and this is the benefit of this solution. So if you give this completeness in your structure, then people will certainly go back with a proper understanding, rather than, I have seen some people only talking about problem, no solution. And they talk about problem, give a lot of solutions and leave it to the others, whichever solution you want to take. No, that will not happen that way. So that's the reason why we will need to have problem, solution, and at the end, benefit. This is how the structure of your presentation should be there. Next is one more way which you can do the structuring is what is that? You are going to talk about what. Now, when you talk about what, they will understand, this is what, we are going to listen to him. Now, why should, so what? Yes, you have understood. Okay, all right, so what? Yes, I have understood now. So what? What should I do with this? What should I do with this? How does it matter to me? Now what? Give that also. Now, today, we are going to talk about presentation. So what? Now we have understood. So what? Now, if you understand this and if you practice this, tomorrow when you present at your professional area, you will be really successful. So now what means you practice. So you do it. And this is what, if you can able to answer these questions like what, so what, and now what through your sessions, every session, certainly everyone will come back to your sessions. And because they know when I go there, he will talk about what, then he will also say, so give me complete information. Then I will ask him, so what, after this, what? And then you say, now what? And I know at the end, this is what I need to do. So this is exactly another way of structuring your content. So now I have completed the 2 areas of before presentation. So now my humble request to all of you here is, do not miss these 2. If you miss these 2 and jump into your presentation on the presentation day, take it from me, now, irrespective of your experience, irrespective of how good you are a presenter, your presentation will not be 100% successful if you don't do these 2 things well before. So spend some time and you need to be really good in this. Now, let's come to the flawless delivery. I heard someone telling that, now there is a content and there is the audience and there is a content. And I have seen some of the people preparing the best of the content, because they take the help of the experts. Now, I've seen this. I've seen some presenters. The same information has to be presented to the audience. Now, the first two things I have already done. But if I'm not a good presenter, again, whatever I have done, it is going to go waste. Now, this is exactly where my role comes, my expertise comes, my skill comes. My means whoever is going to present to, whatever the forum. So you need to talk about, let's talk about the flawless. Flawless means without any mistakes. Flaw means mistake. Flawless means without any mistakes, how to deliver a presentation. It's very, very important, friends, from your point. Now, how do I do it? Now you have the material. You have the audience. Material means you must be having some PowerPoint presentation. You have so many other materials, props, or other materials to show to the audience. And you have the audience in front of you. And now you are there. So these 3 things are very important to complete a presentation. So now, how do you prepare yourself? That's very important. Now, most important thing is, irrespective of how many years of presentation you have now, practice. For your kind information, friends, this is the not less than, I think, 18th time that I'm doing the same PowerPoint presentation. Offline I have done, we do it for almost 3 days. Now online I have done around 7 to 8 times. Even today I had to practice. I have been practicing the same presentation again to deliver for today. So unless and until you practice slide by slide, you do not know what to talk. So that's the reason why practice, and it is in my hand. Now use cue cards. And some people I know they use cue cards. They write in a sheet of paper, and then they only point. And once they see the point, they start explaining. Once they see the point, they start explaining. So this is what is. Have a cue card so that it becomes easy for you to explain things. That's another one from your side. And diagrammatic representation of your material. I think, or memory use. Some people, they use their memory. Means, after this slide, this comes. So this is how I need to connect after this slide. So they memorize in a diagrammatic way, and then they give the delivery. So these are the pointers with respect to the material that you are delivering. That's one. And I think, you must have heard this. You have to use, to have an impact on audience, you have to use this KISS principle, KISS, KISS. Keep it short and simple. My humble request. That's where, again, to the students, this is a very, very important, message to you. Tomorrow, when you want to get into a professional world, you want to present something to your bosses, they don't have time. You need to be as simple and as short as possible in delivering that content, so that, they understand in a very short time without any confusion. Now to the faculty, again, to the teachers here who are sitting, my request is, try to adopt this KISS principle, that is, keep it short and simple. Many a times a teacher in that enthusiasm of telling too many things, because he is a master of that subject, because he has been teaching the subject for 15 to 20 years, so he becomes the master of that. So in the enthusiasm of telling, they go on telling the same thing without knowing that they are really confusing the audience. So keep it very short and simple. That's where people will understand. So the KISS principle, KISS, it means keep it short and simple. Whatever you want to say or whatever you want to point on the pointers. So this is very important from the delivery point. And with respect to the person who's going to deliver, before you present, visualize your presentation. Today, this is what is going to be a presentation. This is the audience, and this is what I'm going to start. This is how I'm going to hold the attention, and this is what is going to happen at the end. And at the end, everyone will be happy. So this is the visualizing your presentation. When you visualize that, you go scene by scene, and that's very, very important, friends. So that's very, very important from the pointers aspect from your side. Visualize your presentation before you deliver, so that it helps you to deliver properly. And now, pointers with respect to your body language. Make an eye contact, a very, very important thing. At the basic in communication is a body language which makes an eye. The moment you don't have an eye contact with the audience will not be, with you. Take it from me. I have seen some people, I've seen some presenters, they're seeing only the PowerPoint presentation on the slide, not seeing the audience. They're going on reading on the PowerPoint presentation with the points on the PowerPoint rather than, seeing the having an eye contact. So if this is the case, then some audience will also go out without telling you. So have an eye contact. Gestures to emphasize, very, very important. That's where the body language comes. I think the communication certainly involves one most important aspect of communication is the body language, the emphasis on gestures and the posture. When I made the gesture, it was an emphatic victory. That's where the emphatic victory gesture which comes. So it complements your delivery, and it augments their understanding. So this is where the gestures, the use of hands, the use of body posture, all these comes in the presentation. That's your flawless delivery. Don't read what's there on the slide. A humble and a sincere request to everyone. If somebody is doing it, it's a crime, friends. Take it from me, you are merely completing that presentation without having an impact. So I have seen a lot of people only read from the slide whatever is written and they, wow, I have done my presentation, blah, blah, thank you very much. No, this is not a presentation in today's world. So my request is don't read it on the slide. In fact, I will tell you, I think the show, what is that? The fashion show. During a fashion show, there is someone called as showstopper. I think you must have heard about showstoppers. Showstopper means the person whom everyone is looking to see. And the showstoppers usually come at the last. Now, this is how I want you have to be a showstopper in your presentation. Means a showstopper is one on whom every eye will be there. Everyone is looking at you rather than the PowerPoint. So in a way, we say, don't give your power to the PowerPoint. So once you give your power to the PowerPoint, if something goes wrong with the PowerPoint, you are stuck. So you have the power. There should be point only on the slide. So this is what, don't read from the slide. Please present. And you are the showstopper in the presentation. Now engage the audience. Very important. That's what I did in the beginning. Engaging the audience. Unfortunate that it's not frequently happening in the online mode. Whenever we are offline, we engage the audience, ask questions, take their feedback and give analogies, and ask them to give analogies likewise. So engage audience so that everyone is with you. Pause for an effect. Pause for an effect is very important from the presenters. Now, even in the online mode, you can do it. Means you have told something and ask for something. Now, have you understood this? And they say, yes. Pause for an means ask them and wait for the answer. That's what I did today. I told you for 30 seconds, I'm going to put this slide, and I pause for an effect from your side. So once you pause for an effect, they start giving the feedback. The feedback may be, depending on the feedback, you will understand whether they are understanding your presentation or not. So pause for an effect if you have asked for some feedback. So don't block the audience view. Very important, especially when you are there in the presentation hall. Don't block the audience view. Many a times I have seen people standing in between the slide and an audience, where they are seen on this. The shadow is seen on the slide rather than what is written on the slide. That's very, very important. And now this is what about the flawless delivery. So the third one, yourself. You are there for the showstopper. And my last part of my presentation, of course, is I'll take another 6 to 7 minutes. Can I take another 6 to 7 minutes so that I will?
Yes.
This is very important. Can I take
Sir.
another 7 to 8 minutes?
Yes, sir, of course.
The most important part is how to design a PowerPoint, because this is the most important tool nowadays we have for our presentation. And I have seen most horrible to the best presentation, PowerPoint presentation. You know what? I have seen some of the speakers preparing PowerPoints just for the sake of doing it. Please, there is a methodology of designing a PowerPoint nowadays. So now this gives you an added advantage to the presenter to make the people aware of what he or she is talking about. So your presentation needs to be awe-inspiring rather than yawn-inducing. Awe means the moment they see the, oh, wow, wonderful slides here. I think, apt points, that's all. Explanation is amazing. Rather than, have you seen some slides where one bullet point is a paragraph? Oh my God. They put a bullet point and they copy a para from the Google on that particular subject and paste it on the slide, and they call it as a bullet point. And the bullet point is a paragraph of more than 6 to 7 lines. This is yawn inducing. So that's where, we need to understand how to prepare or design a PowerPoint presentation. A good PowerPoint with visual aids is very, very important. A good PowerPoint with visual aids. And if you have seen my slides, I think I have already completed around 27, 28 slides. You would have seen I have minimum number of information or points on the slide, and I am explaining the same thing looking at you guys. So that's the reason why you need to have good PowerPoint with some visual aids. Now, usually in the professional world, we adopt 10-20-30 rule. 10-20-30 rule. Can someone unmute and tell me what can be this 10-20-30 rule in PowerPoint presentation designing? Can someone?
Number of slides, sir. Number of slides.
10 means what?
Number of slides.
20?
Sorry, I believe actually 30 slides.
Okay.
And 20 lines.
Okay.
And not much of the pictures actually.
Oh, great. What is 10, Prashant? I'm really happy that you are attempting it. What is 10?
10 points. 10 points only in the slide.
Okay. Somebody is talking about. So anyone else?
10 bullets you can take. 10 bullets in a slide.
10 bullets in a slide. Okay. Someone is attempting. No. Can someone? It's very interesting. When I saw this, I was also very much, curious to know. But when somebody told me, it was amazing. Yeah, it's very simple.
10 slides, I guess.
Yes. Okay.
10 slides.
Okay. Then 20. 20.
No, 10 words in a line.
Okay. I think, I'm happy that many people are attempting. I'll give you another 10 seconds. Somebody can attempt. Somebody has told only 10 slides in a PowerPoint. 10 slides in a PowerPoint. Okay. 20. 20.
So I guess 20 minutes.
Okay, great. 20 minutes. Okay, 10 slides, 20 minutes. 30 points. 30 font size is 30. 30? 30 font. Absolutely right. Give him a big hand. I think, people who have told this, give them a big hand. Very, very much, friends. You have made my job. The thing is, please mute. Now, I request you to mute. Your audio. Absolutely right. For a PowerPoint presentation of 20 minutes, we need to have only 10 slides. Now, every PowerPoint, every slide should have a minimum of 30 font size, so that even if you are projecting in a big hall, people at the back can see your presentation or what is written on the slide. 10, 20, 30. 10 slides for 20 minutes and 30 should be minimum, the font size of your points that is written there. And this is exactly what many of the professional presentations are there. Thank you very much, friends, for involving yourself in this. So this is what I think I have understood, and I certainly follow this. I've been following after that. So your visual aid should have graphs and charts. Make it very interesting. For example, if you are giving the line point by point, only the numbers without any graphs or charts, it's very boring. The same thing, you can put it as a graph or a chart. This is very basic, friends. I think, many of us, we do it, but do it properly. That's where. And today's Windows 10 is an amazing place to really do all these things. Pictures and sketches. Have the right kind of pictures and sketches in your presentation so that a visual effect will give 1,000 times more understanding than just a word. So pictures speak louder than words many a times. That's very, very important. Pictures and sketches. And I have seen a lot of, good presentations have video. In fact, every presentation of ours has a video. Unfortunately, I'm not showing it because, it consumes a lot of time. Every has a relevant video. A relevant video certainly will go a long way in making people understand. And that's where I think, my request to all the teachers today, in the online mode, many people have that, they don't understand, or they are not into it. Do all these things in your PowerPoint presentation, and they are really going to sit through your sessions, no doubt about it. And flip charts. Flip chart means apart from the visual aid, you can also show the flip charts. So prepare flip charts one by one, and then you can certainly make them understand. So this is how, just don't have only words, sentences on the PowerPoint. Have all these on your presentation PowerPoint. So this is few things, Now, this is how you can project. This is how you can project your data. And this is a more appealing rather than one by one point. And this is how this can be used in presenting a data. And I'm telling you, Windows 10 is an amazing place. You can go and learn from there. And next is, of course, the tips to create good slides. I'm just going to give the, see, I have seen some presenters say they start with a blank slide. They start with a blank slide and spend 5 minutes on the blank slide. And you know what they do? They tell that, whatever the audience say, they start go on writing on that blank slide. By the time 2-3 minutes, they would have filled the entire blank slide. Now, this blank slide will help them to take forward the next 40-45 minute session, because you have asked the audience to tell about what they know or what is that they are going to discuss. So this is one way many people have done it. You can also do it. This is one way which you can keep the audience, Now, my request is, please do not use any of these amateurist animation. And I have seen even the LKG, UKG students don't use nowadays. And I have seen some presentation with all horrible animations. Have you seen some presentations where, the presenter, the moment he click one, the bullet point will come from bottom. The next bullet point will come from left side, other bullet from right side, and the fourth one is from diagonally opposite. And now fifth one, they are not worried about what is that point. The audience will be worried about from which side the point is going to come. So please, my request, that is animation. Please don't put all the horrible animations. Please, my request to you is divide all from your animations rather than just appear that point. Talk that one, appear, talk, then appear, talk. That's it. So remove all the unnecessary animations and don't have this rainbow colors on your PowerPoint. Black and white is an amazing way to teach anyone or make anyone understand. That's very, very important. And use appropriate images. Okay, don't use poor quality or overused images in your presentations, and use all positive images rather than the negative image. Even if I'm going to talk about COVID-19 and its horrible impact, I will not show the deaths. I will not show the horrible things that are happening. I will show the green part of it. Means the good part of it, and then give the confidence to the audience that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Your presentation, even though it is on quitting smoking, smoking causes cancer and death. If I'm going to present on that, I need not have to show all the slides only smoking, that. Now, let me come to a point where I need to give the tell them that it's yes, there is a brighter side of it if you quit. So that's what is important. So use images which are very positive and which are very potent and interesting rather than not interesting overused images, because a lot of images you get in the Google images. So my request is use appropriate images. And next is the same thing. Again, this is a boring kind of a PP slide, and this is the same information which is put in a very presentable manner. So the same thing you can see here. So this you can do it in your slide. So people can understand better rather than one by one, because 99% of the people do this. And only if you do this, it's something different, same information, but something different. That is, you're showing to make them understand. So this is how you can do. So this is how you can make a wonderful, wonderful, design of. And there are other things. I have just cut short on the preparation of designing. In fact, we conduct 3 hours program only on how to prepare PowerPoint presentations, but nonetheless, I have squeezed all these to just 15 minutes each or 20 minutes each, and I have, so now I have given you that structure, that is, know your audience and prepare your structure, your content in the first half before you present, and on the day of presentation, a flawless delivery, how a presenter has to present himself. And then, of course, last thing is PowerPoint presentation to aid your presentation, aid the understanding. So I think this is what the science or the methodology or the structure that I wanted to talk about on presentation skills. Whatever I have talked is just 10 to 15% of, or certainly, only thing is I have given you the gist. My request is, I don't know how many of you have you learned something new. Many people would have said that I know this, I know this, I know this. Yes, out of 900 people, 99 people say that I know this. But do we do this? Knowing is one thing and doing is another thing. My only request is do it. That's what I say is, now you know it and now do it. Doing is what makes you a perfect man. And now experience or age should not be a barrier. Someone who's experienced 20, 25 years in the teaching profession or a professor or whatever it is, but even today, if there are flaws in him or her, they need to adopt that. And I have seen some of the, teachers learning from the students. In fact, I have learned, now I'm adjunct faculty in Jesus University in Mysore. Whenever I go for my presentations, I see some of the presentations in there, I become a student there. I learn from them. So whatever I have learned, of course, learn from many of the people around me. And this is what, in a nutshell, I did put up. And I hope this will certainly help you. And some of the things that we have discussed will help you in your future presentations. So to tell you very frankly, for all of you, most of the faculty, presentation is an oxygen that you are going to give it to the student. Now, if it is it's so important as an oxygen, now you need to have that oxygen in the perfect amount so that the students get it. And for the students, my message is, now learn the presentations whenever you are in the campus. Before you leave the campus, become a good excellent presenter, and then get into the profession, because once you go to the professional world, you will not be given chance to. And now every recruitment is happening only through the presentations, good presentations. So that's what I wanted to talk about. If you have any questions, you can ask the questions. Otherwise, it's thank you very much. If anybody has a question, 2 minutes maximum. I think I have taken a lot of time. Extremely sorry for that. We have 2 to 3 minutes in case if you have any questions. Otherwise, we can wind up. Any questions, you can unmute and ask the question. Or if there are any questions in the chat box, somebody can read it for me. Yeah, if you have any questions, ask or read it from the chat box. Yeah, Prashant has raised the hand. Yes, Prashant, go ahead. Ask the question.
Yeah, it's a wonderful presentation, sir. Thank you. Just wanted to know, like, is there any particular font actually that Calibri or
yes, the two fonts or two fonts which I see usually in the professional presentations are, one is Arial. Okay, most of them, they are Arial, and the second one is here and there the Times New Roman. Okay, these are the only. And now the third is, if there are any nomenclature or scientific names, for example, in medical or in healthcare, in the sense, I'm from the pharmacy background or the healthcare industry, there are some organisms name like, microorganisms name, which are in italics. That's what I know is what the nomenclature or these names, they're in italics. Otherwise, it is Arial or Times New Roman, these two. Okay, and don't play with different fonts on the same slide, and have the entire 20 slides or 30 slides with the same font. Okay, that's what, and the size of the heading the same. Yeah, did I answer your question, Prashant?
Yes, sir. Like, also I've come across, actually there are a couple of companies and institutions where they insist actually, like, their own font, either to use Vardhana only, all presentations and all the fonts, they want to be Vardhana, otherwise it can be a Calibri of a head or something.
Okay, Prashant, I really take it from your side, certainly, but exceptions do not make the rule. Okay, most of them, they want this. Okay, and once you get into their scheme of things, you will have to follow what they do. Okay, that's what it is.
Probably the standardization. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, great. Yes.
There is one question from Dr. Veerbhadra Swami.
Okay.
Sir, not possible to convert a text into a diagram. How to overcome from this?
See, text into diagram. Any text for that matter, if you go and search in a Google, okay, you will get something related to that. Something related to that. Now, a diagram cannot be so serious diagram. For example, if I want to show something which is very, 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 very bad, I can create a picture. Okay, say that this is so good that if this bad can be taken out, this good can be had. So what I try to tell the people is, you don't try to find a diagram for every word or every sentence. I'm not advocating that. But if you are telling some information in that slide, have that particular image somewhere in that slide so that you convey that message through this point. Don't have a picture for every word or every point. No, I don't advocate it. As a subject that you're talking, have some images so that people can understand. That's what I can say. Yeah. Anything?
Yeah, Naina, madam.
Yeah, if we don't have any questions, thank you very much. My last slide is this. Of course, this is my contact details. Of course, we do a lot of training programs for the schools, colleges, especially with the professional world. And I think, we have already attached to 3 universities where we are undertaking complete development of the students, skill development, campus to corporate. And this is what our academy is all about. And I once again thank the organizers here from the KLE Society's GH College Haveri for giving me an opportunity to express my views on the presentation skills, which are of my experience. That's it. So thank you very much once again, and over to you, to the organizers. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We are extremely fascinated by your wonderful talk, sir. We are really blessed indeed to receive such an ideas and knowledge regarding this topic. Thank you so much, sir, for devoting your precious time and enduring the new generation with your words of wisdom and experience, and also sharing for knowledge here, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Now we all reach at the end of this program. I would like to call Professor S.M. Angdi to propose vote of thanks. Over to you, Angdi, sir.
Thank you, madam. Good evening to everybody. I feel it great pleasure to propose the vote of thanks. KLE Society's GH College Haveri IQAC initiative, Department of English, organized webinar on the science in the art of presentation. For this, the speaker, Shri H.V. Vishwesh, Director and Facilitator, Ariu Skill Development Academy, Hubli and Mysore. Being a guest speaker, you have elaborated valuable information to our participants, and you spoke elaborately on realistic approach, methodology, enhancement of presentation skills, structure of presentation skills, blocks of presentation skills, and pointers, and lastly, presentation steps to create a good PPT skills. For this, on behalf of Department of English and myself, I extend my sincere gratitude to you. Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful presentation and valuable speech. Thank you very much, sir. I feel it proud privilege to extend my sincere thanks to the Principal, Dr. Sandhya Kulkarni Madam, who has organized, initiated this webinar and made a grand success. For this, on behalf of myself and the entire department, I extend a sincere thanks to Dr. Sandhya Kulkarni Madam. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you.
I extend my sincere thanks to Dr. L.C. Kulkarni, IQAC coordinator, who has guided, supported, and inspired us to organize this webinar. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I also extend my sincere thanks to NAC coordinator, Dr. Vasudev Nayak, sir, who is an inspiring man always and motivated for the department and the entire staff of the department to organize this webinar. Thank you, sir. I extend my sincere thanks to Professor Naina S., Department of English, HOD, who has organized and taken initiative and worked hard to make this webinar a grand success. For this, I extend my sincere thanks to Professor Naina Madam.
Thank you, sir.
I extend my heartfelt thanks to our department colleagues who have Thank you, all the department colleagues. I extend my sincere thanks to all the participants from the different colleges and institutions who have taken initiative part and continuously more than 90 minutes actively involved and made this presentation, this webinar a grand success, and I have gained a valuable information from our guest speaker. Thank you all the participants and the students who have actually involved and made this a grand success. I extend my thanks to all the participants and all the persons who have directly or indirectly supported to make this webinar a grand success. For all of them, I extend thank you. Once again, from my bottom of heart,
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you all. We will end this session, and be safe and take care of yourself and your family. Bye.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much, madam.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you.